Good morning, friends. Workouts in the bag, 58 minutes, non-stop connecting with Christ, getting into flow state, pushing, pulling, feeling every muscle fiber, feeling full of endorphins, full of enthusiasm, full of blood flowing throughout my body and bringing me to a level of transcendence and elevation that goes beyond just the workout, beyond being fit and in shape and feeling great and feeling healthy and feeling strong, and all the blessings that Christ has to offer us. For my entire life, like many of us, I've been in search. Back in the day, there was a TV show called In Search Of, where they would go looking for ancient civilizations and ancient artifacts and revealing stories about the past. And I think about relentless, right? Like the logo here says, relentless, one of my favorite words, as I've talked about the other day. We talked about being relentless. We talked about being resilient. Relentless, the ceaseless pursuit of what? Of what? My entire life, I've been in search of, in pursuit of, and I always thought I knew what I was pursuing. And only recently did I come to understand that for my entire life, I was looking to fill a hole. I was looking for peace and solace and fulfillment of what? In search of ancient civilizations, an ancient past, an ancient history. I find those stories so fascinating. To this day, my wife and I spend time watching documentaries. We watch clips of stories about Göbekli Tepe, about ancient Sumer, about all of these uncovered and hidden civilizations. And if we go back, way back, 10,000 years, 20,000, 100,000 years, what was man in search of? What were we in search of? What did we get up every single day and go through this relentless pursuit and grind for? Well, 100,000 years ago, it was all about shelter and food and procreation. But mainly, you couldn't procreate if you didn't have shelter and food. You needed shelter and food. But I'll tell you what, as shelter and food became easy, as it became de facto, as it became something that we almost feel is our birthright, and it isn't, at any moment we could be thrust. There's lots of homeless people out there. There's lots of hungry people out there that need help, that don't have what we have. So it's not apparent, it's not de facto, it's not a birthright, because some people don't have it. Do we all deserve it? Yes. Do we all want it? Yes. But even when you have shelter, and even when you have food, even when you have the best shelter and the best food, and even when you have a beautiful family like I have, beautiful children, beautiful wife, and I'm so proud of them, and I am so fortunate to have all that I have: good food, good friends, fresh, clean water, the things that many people take for granted, but many people suffer from and don't have. Even when you have that, you will not be satisfied. You will not be fulfilled. You will still be relentless in search of, in pursuit of, but what? What? Peace and solace. We're always searching. Once we have food, once we have shelter, once we have family, we're still looking for peace and solace. We're looking to come to a state where we are elevated and where we transcend and where we self-actualize and where we come to a place of peace and solace because we are truly fulfilled. And I have found that fulfillment. I have found what I have been looking for my entire life in Jesus Christ, in God, in finding a place where I can connect with Him every single day, in these workouts where I push and pursue. I am in relentless pursuit, yes, but of what? Of that connection every day where I get to visit with Christ, where I get to see Christ, where I get to connect and commiserate and meld with Christ and feel Him, see Him, speak with Him, and have Him live within me for those moments where I can actually visualize it and understand it. And now I know every day I walk with Christ, every day I live with Christ inside me, and it is a feeling of fulfillment that nothing else has ever given me in my entire life, and it makes every single aspect of my life so much better. The food is better, the shelter is better, my beautiful wife, my children, they mean so much more to me now that I have that connection with Christ. And so it doesn't matter what your goals are. It doesn't matter what you're pursuing. It doesn't matter what you gain in this life. It is meaningless. All the food, all the shelter, all the accoutrements of that, as things become easier and better and your life becomes more prosperous and you think you're fulfilling yourselves with the luxuries that life has to offer, what the so-called good life has to offer, it's never enough. You will always be in pursuit. You will always be relentlessly searching for something. And even today, now that I have this beautiful oneness with Christ and I am healed through Christ, through my cancers, through all of my trials and tribulations, and I am truly healed in body and mind and in spirit, and I am so fortunate. I still relentlessly seek that connection every day because I don't want there to be a day where I don't have that moment where I see myself, where I visualize myself walking with Christ hand in hand, connecting with Christ, and feel His healing, golden, radiant energy inside me bursting out, obliterating, disintegrating, evaporating all negativity, all disease, all bad energy, just evaporating it all and filling me up with positive energy, healing love, healing resilience, healing strength. I seek that connection every day, and I fulfill that connection every day with Christ. And every day, for somewhere between 40 to 60 minutes, I am connected with Christ, and I am grateful in those moments. The actual words that I am saying as I am on the crucible, Conan's wheel, every muscle fiber twitching, burning, firing. And as I leave my body, as I leave this plane of existence, as I elevate and transcend and am no longer of this world, in those moments of flow state when I'm in the zone and I'm at one, connected with Christ, seeing Him within me, filling me with that golden, radiant, healing energy, as it absolutely bursts forth, as it permeates me, as it infuses me, as it fills me up and bursts forth from me, as I see that, and as I see that connection, as I'm able to talk with Christ and communicate with Christ, for those 40 to 60 minutes, for most of it, for a lot of it, I'm essentially telling Him how grateful I am for all of this, how grateful I am for everything He has given me in this life. And I am asking only for His forgiveness. That is it. I've done all the asking. I've done all the asking. And now I am purely every day thanking Him when He answers the call, as He always does. As He answers the call and I'm able to make that connection, as the signal is crystal clear, I am thanking Him. I'm thanking Him before, I'm thanking Him during, and I'm thanking Him after for everything He has given me. And it brings me a peace and a solace and a fulfillment that's hard to describe. But know this, I am fulfilled in every single way a human can be fulfilled. I have found it. I have found it. And so everything in my life is beyond amazing. It's beyond enthusiastic. It's beyond inspirational. It's beyond healed. I'm so grateful for all of it. I'm grateful for finding what I've always been in search of and what all of us are in search of. Beyond those basic needs, Maslow's needs, right? Shelter, food, actualization, all of those things. Beyond all of it, once you've achieved all of it, you'll still be in relentless pursuit. The search never ends. As Leonard Nimoy, the Mr. Spock from Star Trek, he was the host of that show, In Search Of. You'll always be in search of. And even when you find it, even when you finally find Christ, you will still relentlessly pursue that connection, that gratefulness. But that pursuit, that relentlessness, that's joy. That's no longer an empty, soulless search for something that you're not sure of what it is, but you think you know what it is. That pursuit is an actual joy. Every single, they say it's not the destination, it's the journey. Well, for me and for everyone who's ever said it, it's true. But that journey is true joy when you know you're on a journey to connect with Christ, when you know you found Him, when you know He's forgiven you, when you know that you're at one with Christ, that you walk with Christ, because when you walk with Christ, all is right in your world. I know when I walk with Christ, all is right in my world. When I am right with Christ, all is right in my world. And because He lives within me, nothing in this world and no one in this world can stand in my way of my vow to Him, of my true purpose, and that's to deliver this message of what He's done for me to you. And that you too can find hope and help, guidance and direction, peace and solace, motivation, inspiration, strength and solutions, healing and love and purpose through Christ. You can find that as I have found it. Nothing feels as good. Even these incredible workouts which elevate me and which pump me up and which fill me with so much endorphins and blood and just a gratefulness for life. It is so much more than it would normally be, because Christ fuels it all and I give it all back to Him. And it is this beautiful circle of enlightenment, of understanding, of fulfillment, that I live for Christ. And every day I'm grateful for His direction and His guidance. And every day, there is one other thing I ask Him for every day. I still ask Him for one thing every day. I ask Him to guide me and direct me and to show me the way to live my life in a manner that glorifies Him with my words and my deeds and my actions. I ask for that wisdom, that direction, that discernment. And every day, I feel that healing love, that healing passion. And I am so grateful for it. And so, you can pursue, you can search. They say there's a God-sized hole in every man, and I've tried to fill it with booze, I've tried to fill it with food, I've tried to fill it with women, I've tried to fill it with prurient interest, with films, with books, with entertainment, with everything you can think of. And in the moment, all of that stuff feels good. But none of it means anything. Search for family, search for friends, but ultimately, search for God, search for Christ, because when He enters your life and all you've got to do is ask Him to enter it, He will burst forth within you and from you, and you will be compelled to make that connection every day and find that peace and solace, because it's there for the taking, it's there for you, that is your true birthright within Christ. And as simple as asking for it. And so, who will you turn to? Who will you turn to when times are tough? Who will you turn to when times are good? You won't find the answer in yourself. You won't find the answer out there in the world. But you will find it in Christ. Stay hungry. Stay relentless. Stay resilient. Stay strong. Sunny mindset.